Recent one is your statement on Jai Ho and Mr. Rahman. So
I was told by somebody the set was ready, the stars' dates were ready, and Rahman is not giving the song. Whether I made the tune or not is none of your business.
we have to talk about Dhurandhar 2.
No. Dhurandhar is Mahabharat.
Dhurandhar 2 or Toxic, which is your bet?
I would like to believe I'm starting Sarkar 4 very soon.
And with Mr. Bachchan?
Hi, this is Gopal Varma. You're watching Memorable Conversations with Faridoon Shahryar.
It's a huge privilege to have Mr. Gopal Varma with us on this very, very memorable conversation with Faridoon Shahryar. It's a huge pleasure to have you with me.
Yeah.
Finally, we're meeting after a few years
Yes,
and not
yes,
virtual
yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
All right, so you have this penchant for remaining in news and creating controversies. Recent one is your statement on Jai Ho and Mr. Rahman. So, and you've posted a tweet as well that saying that you've been misquoted. What exactly really happened?
See, the point is when we were doing this particular interview, back in many years back, I was actually talking the context of in filmmaking, it's very difficult to really know who contributed what. Because see, in the titles you're crediting, so-and-so did music, so-and-so did direction, so-and-so did cinematography. But lots of times what happens, and individually when someone suggests, it might not be that particular person's this thing. For example, my assistant director, who's not even credited as a writer, he might suddenly say something which all of us like and we incorporate that. But since technically he's not the writer, he won't be credited for that.
Correct.
Likewise, in every piece it happens, a lyric writer can suddenly, someone suggest, why not use this word? Or maybe lots of times it happens, the hook line is given by the composer, many times, the opening line.
Correct.
And that could be the reason that actually it caught on. But the composer is not credited for that. So I was talking in this context, the whole thing. Sometimes an actor can improvise. Like in Satya, what happened? Many of the lines were actors were improvising. So though Anurag and Saurabh were being created, and in this I openly, even Anurag admitted. In fact, when Saurabh also admitted, many of the lines were made by the actors while performing. I was talking in this context.
Right.
I was told by somebody, so obviously this incident happened many, many years back. Now, I don't even remember, he was telling me, this is what Sukhwinder's assistant told him. Okay. Now, I can't recall in what context.
What did he say?
Yeah, I'm telling you that, yeah. Now, see, Rahman was notorious for delaying, and he doesn't deliver things on time and everything. So I know that everyone experiences it's an open secret, And Subhash was very, very upset that he was not giving the song in time. And then at a point of time, the set was ready, the stars' dates were ready, and Rahman is not giving the song. In that tension, he wrote a nasty letter or something to Rahman. So how can I plan anything?
Subhash.
So yeah. So Rahman said that, okay, I'm coming to Mumbai. We'll meet at Sukhwinder's studio, and there I'll make the tune for you. That's fine. And Subhash came first. And Rahman was on the way from the airport or something. And Sukhwinder was doing some tune. So Subhash asked, what is that? He said, no, Rahman asked me to make a tune for you, a picture. So Subhash felt, Rahman is a music director, I am paying him. And what does it mean that he asked Sukhwinder to make a tune? He was very upset about that. So he asked Sukhwinder, this happens all the time, we keep exchanging things and somebody suggests something or whatever. Meanwhile, Rahman came. Now Rahman came and Subhash was thinking Rahman doesn't know that this guy blurted out. I realized what he was doing behind my back, making someone else do the tune, So Rahman, in front of Subhash only, he asked, did you make anything? And Sukhwinder said, yeah. So make me here, and he made him here. And I think it's nice. What do you think? He said. And I think it's terrible, Subhash. No. See, first of all, you are my composer. I am paying you and this and how. And if I want Sukhwinder to do the tune, I'll take him. Why would I take you? Then Rahman said, see, you're not paying me for the work, you're paying me for the name. If I am endorsing it, it becomes mine. Whether I made the tune or not is none of your business. And this is something which you heard. I mean, I didn't try to keep it a secret from you. I am asking in front of you only. What did you make to hear? Okay.
Right.
Now you know this. Where? How do you know where you made the tal music from, or that if that is a context what you are talking about? You know. So you have a right to say you didn't like it. But where I took it from, whose help I took it from, that is none of your business. You know. I mean, I'm not, see, all this is a hearsay. I am not in that room. I've got nothing to do with Subhash Ji or Rahman, what he is doing at that time. Okay. So I was trying to analyze this in that particular interview, you know. Now, I said lots of times, like coming to the beginning of the conversation, what I was having. Now, suddenly one guy can say that was my idea or that this was my idea. Lots of times, like I remember when we were making Rangeela, the opening sequence of Hai Rama, you know, the what's his name? Hariharan was just trying to do some exercise with his voice
Vocals,
to get the vocals. And he sang that. Now that was, Hariharan was doing that just for his vocal exercise before the song can start. Then suddenly Rahman said, "Ajay, I love the Ramu think should start the song with this," he said. Now, technically, it was Hariharan's idea, if you look at it like that. But Rahman liking it and taking it in the song. That's how the creative collaboration happens. Huh?
Right.
I said, like, everything I need to think or I need to, there's so many things in Satya, like I said, actor bola or something someone told me, not necessarily is a film guy. On one anecdote someone tells me and I keep it in the film.
Correct.
You know, so the composers do that. All technicians, everyone does that. Ideas keep coming, but there'll be one guy who will endorse it, will accept it, and will want to use it, and he puts his reputation and his effort. Eventually, it's not the tune alone, how you arrange it, how you pitch it, and how you use the voice. There are so many things, which is why it's called music director.
Correct.
No? So in this whole thing, I was talking about lots of things, including my films. You know, where I was not responsible for that idea. Someone else did that, and I put it. You know. So in that context, now because of this ongoing thing of whatever he said about communal thing and all that, somebody picked that up from out of the blue, which I did that interview in Telugu many years back. You know. So this is the whole story. Now, most important thing is I was not present there. It was not Sukhwinder who told me. It was someone. So I was not trying to say that, okay, now the finish of that story, after Subhashji rejected apparently that tune, then down Rahman said, I really like the tune, you just mail it to me. Then Sukhwinder forgot about it. Some year later or some lots of time later, suddenly Rahman's manager sent him some money. You know, I believe you made some tune for Subhashji. Rahman is giving that song to some other production. You know, and I said, which production? He said, the Slumdog Millionaire. This is the story behind Jai Ho as told to me by third person. None of the main people involved told me. Not Subhashji, not Rahman, not this. When I said that, I didn't even say that in the context of that, ye iska create le liya. It's not that. How things get collaborated, but eventually whose name is it coming under is the important thing.
Right.
Like if Anurag Kashyap and Saurabh Shukla are created as the writers, is not necessary they wrote the entire thing. Like they themselves admitted that lots of times it's the actors who are imitating who were kind of improvising the
right.
lines. So this is the whole full story of what happened. So neither was my intention that, and nor can I say this has happened. You know, I was not an invisible guy. Neither did these three people tell me, where Rahman or Subhashji or of course Sukhwinder.
Right, but what you've written in your tweet is that you were misquoted.
Yeah, misquoted in the sense, that's what I'm saying. If what were they doing in the press? Ram Gopal Varma is a witness. The fact that Rahman has taken away the credit from the original creator Sukhwinder Singh. That is a narrative they were putting it. That was what I was answering to. That is not what I said.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, as you said that he's putting he's endorsing the name, he's endorsing the entire idea. The whole idea is that that to believe in it, to have that vision that this is a good song. I think that also requires a spark of genius as well.
Of 100%. That is what is required more. Probably he realizes the value more than Sukhwinder. Which is the reason Rahman is such a big music director to start with. Yeah.
Right.
Who under whose name is it coming is the whole point. Why are we putting credits? It is not for someone to take an oath that yes, this is only created my brain. And there's nothing like that happens in creative field. Everything you hear from somewhere.
Right.
It could be a film source, it could be a memory of you. Sometimes, so many times you see in YouTube videos, like great composers like R.D. Burman, they also have taken inspiration from old black and white films in that stage.
Everyone has.
Everyone has.
Everyone
yeah,
has.
Yeah. Rahman, lots of times. I mean, I haven't seen it directly, but even the same guy told me who said this. He said Rahman also mentioned in public Sukhwinder's contribution is there in it. Now, I don't even know whether it just took parts of it, whether it took the whole thing. I never heard the original composition. I only heard Rahman's thing.
Right.
But Rahman always gives credit to others, even when I can't even understand why he's being given credit. I've seen him doing things like, this great player, Naveen, a flutist, I am not very sure what should be there here, I want you to play something in this field. So that's his way of, or like a great director will never tell an exact actor exactly what to do. Says I'm feeling, because he wants him to feel. Because when you're telling him clearly, he will imitate what you're asking.
Right.
But to get the best out of him, that's a tact Rahman uses to get the best out of Naveen. Because eventually Naveen's feel what he feels about something, it might surprise Rahman. So he wants to get a lot of contribution from various people. That is what a good director does. He will never get stuck up, this is my idea, everything has to be done only in this manner.
Rahman sir has always been very, very generous in terms of praising others, and even the way he composes, for example, it's like a very freehand sort of thing, like he's playing something on his piano. And
so he's
and
constantly
the song
improvising. So, I know for a fact sometimes, if he does a song, one reason why it takes time also is because after the recording is done, most music directors, I would say 99%, they will just get rid of the song and he will want to live with it. And 15 days later, he will hear it once again.
Right.
In a fresh mind. Then he'll want to improvise something, or he'll want to remove something, or whatever. All the time he's improvising until he feels it has come to the best of his satisfaction. See, for example, in Rangeela, when he was composing for me, now for Hai Rama song, he just played on, like it almost sounds like a children's keyboard kind of a sound tone.
Right.
I thought he's gone mad because the reference I gave to him was something like Kaate Nahi Karte in Mr. India. I saw an erotic song and all that. This sounded like some Carnatic ragam. So I thought by mistake he sent me someone else's music. Because he sent me a CD from Chennai. And when I played, then I called Rahman, I think by mistake you sent me. I said, no Ram, I made it for you only. He said, Rahman, what is the brief I gave? And what did you make? Are you don't like it? Okay, I'll make it. And he will never argue with you if you don't like it. It doesn't. He's the only man I know doesn't have creative arrogance. But the only problem is if you say no, it'll take a long time for the next one to come. That's okay. That's a separate chapter. Then because it was there, when I went on listening to it, something about it started getting into me. Then again I called him and said, are you sure about this tune will work in that situation? He said, I'm very sure. Then I said, okay, let's go ahead with that. Then I went to Chennai, I heard the arrangement, it zapped me. I never thought that tune can be made to come to the sound like, all those tablas and this and the cellos and all that coming. It's like a storm, Yeah. So Rahman's contribution to a song is not just the tune. There are so many things, the sound tones which he uses. And for example, in Daud, he did a song. In a BGM, he used Sarigama like lyrics. Because I didn't know at that time, I don't know music. One music director told me, the first time he used Sarigama Padani as lyrics. Because Sa, whatever the way it is supposed to be done, that was not how it is sung. Instead of, in spite of it being Sarigama Padani. So using Sarigama Padani like lyrics is the first time he said. So these kind of things he does a lot, Rahman, which people don't even know.
Right.
Why his music sounds so different is because of that. So in that context, he will take, like if Hariharan is doing something, he takes that. Or someone else says, sometimes he gives freedom to Sridhar, his mixing engineer, who passed away a couple of years back, like they share a very big bond. And sometimes Sridhar suggests, Rahman, I don't think it's working, we should remove this,
Right.
And he will listen, Sometimes he might insist, no, let it be there. Or sometimes he will change it. So that collaboration which he does with the various artists is an extraordinary healthy thing, what he does. But eventually, don't forget, it's coming under his name.
But sir, don't you think that you saying something in obviously it's something that happened in the past, and it's a hearsay that as you yourself admit, considering you guys have worked together and have created history in sort of the sort of music, with him going through a bit of a difficult patch, and he takes a lot of pride in his integrity. Do you think it may be a bit hurtful for him coming from you?
No. But why? Because he will know that. Because he himself says that. All the time he says, this was his idea. Like I told you, in front of me, told Hariharan, Ramu, let's start with this. I think I will do it again. And he heard it twice when Hariharan said.
Right.
So you can say in one way that was Hariharan's idea. It was not Rahman's idea. You can say that. But that is not how creative thing works. When you're having a discussion, though the final guy who takes a decision, many times they listen to a lot of people. Now they brought it out, now with the ongoing whatever he said about communal, in the context of the BBC interview, now they want to build a narrative of a kind of a negative thing. They're trying to take various things. He said this, then he said that, then, and in their mind also came.
Right.
But I am super sure, no matter anyone understands or not, Rahman will understand. Yeah. Now I can't give this long an explanation in a tweet. Which is the reason I said I was misquoted out of context or something. Because what I said was not in the context of that this credit was being taken by somebody. It was that this collaboration happens. That's in the context. I just kind of quoted somebody who told me about this. So if you look at this whole thing in the end of the day, only person who can know this, if I am supposed to be quoting Sukhwinder directly, only Sukhwinder should know whether this happened or not. If Sukhwinder feels in himself that that credit belongs to him, and when he got such a big accolade, getting an Oscar for that song, why wouldn't he speak that? It happened 10 years back, no? It's not now.
Right. Sukhwinder sir, I recently had a podcast with him, and he was huge. He's a huge admirer of Rahman sir, and he credits him for being a huge influence in his career. And so I think, and he has a tremendous respect, and the fact that with regards to the Oscar as well, that maybe he could have been there. He's fine with it, because he says that if I look at what I've gained from Rahman is way more than what anything else whatsoever. So he's having a lot of reverence for Rahman sir, and at the same time, Rahman sir is very, very respectful towards Sukhwinder, and the way he is with almost everyone else. Even ranked newcomers, the way he just encourages them is extremely unique.
Of course.
It's extremely unique.
See, I just remember one more thing, which is my personal experience. Now, this singer, I'm not able to remember her name, Shweta something. She sang this song in Rangeela. Hello. And when me, Rahman, and she were singing, she were there before the singing starts. And she asked Rahman, Rahman, can you sing it in another way? How I want to sing it. Because Rahman was telling her a certain style of how he did with his voice. And then she said, can I sing it some other way? Can I show you my style? He said, yeah. And then she sang it. And Rahman's first thing is fantastic. He said, yeah, just sing it like this. Now, it's easy for anyone to say that was her style. But the way the song sounds after that, creative collaboration by definition means that I'm saying. If, I'm not a singer, I'm just trying to give an example. See, देखो 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 That's it. No?
Right.
So what she said, I want to sing it like something. Something she did with the voice, which was very different from what Rahman was suggesting. But Rahman was the first guy to say, fantastic. Yeah, let's do it this way.
Firstly, I find you and Rahman are very similar because many a times in many of the conversations that I've had with you and I praise you for something and you immediately just go on a different tangent and you start just mentioning names of other people that it was his idea, it was his contribution, it was his, which I find very unique because maximum people in the industry that I know of, most of them, they love to hog the credit completely. And you don't have that that element, and so does Rahman sir. Rahman sir is very generous. So
of course.
In that regard, both of you are very similar.
Yeah. When there's a Zehrila Pyar, a song in third, and he wanted a specific singer for that particular song who was not even a professional singer at that time. He knew of him, maybe he met him somewhere, or I don't even know if he knows him or something. I don't know the history. But when I was suggesting him, he said, Ram, only that guy's voice was it. There's no other singer who can do justice to this. And he hunted him down and he got him. And then once the song is over, and he said, this song credit is completely his. Because without his voice, it won't work. You know? No, see, that is a strong thing, like which is how a director wants a certain actor for a role. This particular actor, without him, this character won't work on screen, which means you can say that he's the guy who made it. But that is not how it happens. Say a music director is doing a tune, is doing the music, is getting the singster, and then is recording. And Rahman does a lot of technical stuff to correct the pitch and that engineering he does a lot, which other music directors don't. You know, so there he will require the mixing aspect of the sound engineer. He used to give a lot of respect to Sridhar. And so this whole thing is a positive way. What I said, it is not in a negative way.
Right. But sir, do you find it a bit unfortunate that in a way, the way it's like a part of a campaign, the way your past interview has been taken out of context that you're saying, to just in a way tarnish a man's reputation and forgetting the fact that he has made like Vande
I feel
Mataram
this
and
happens in waves. See, I don't want to make a comment on what he said about there's a communal aspect because I do not believe that. Because see, I feel the film industry is only about making money. Whoever makes money for them, they'll go after them. They don't care whether what caste, what religion, where you are from and all that. If the South Indian commercial directors are making films which are being blockbusters, they will go to them. When S.P. Balasubramaniam was taken by Maine Pyar Kiya Hum Aapke Kaun, you know, by Suraj Bajata, those songs are big hits in which is the reason they took.
and continued after that.
And the moment after that is not there, other songs are not working. And that could be Hindi guy, that could be Telugu guy, Tamil guy, it doesn't make a difference. You know. So to that extent. But having said that, I don't know what experiences he had. So I can't speak for Rahman. See, any of us can speak either in general, but it is possible someone could have had a person specific experience which is made him talk like that. So is it a general thing or is it something which he was on talks with somebody and somebody told him like this? Not knowing those reasons, I don't want to make a comment on it.
But he's a very responsible man actually, and he's someone who wouldn't make a flippant comment like that. Maybe there may be a context to it, and now he has gone silent, and he's not saying anything at all. All right, and sir, since you're here and we have to talk about Dhurandhar 2, you feel that it's going to be one of the biggest multi-starrers ever. Why do you say that? Have you spoken to Aditya, and is that something that he has told you? Or?
No, he didn't tell me. See, obviously, as the director is very confident. See, I'll tell you, my point is, if Dhurandhar is Mahabharat, I am presuming Dhurandhar 2 will be like a Kurukshetra. That will be climactic, like one climax where he has to probably put an end to all the characters which were introduced in Dhurandhar and their finishing, which happens in Kurukshetra, in Mahabharata. And to that extent, I instinctively feel the drama and the intensity of narrative and all that will be far superior in Dhurandhar. That is my presumption. You know. And second point, I feel before Dhurandhar, I do not believe there is a benchmark cinema. And why I am saying that, you see, different kind of films work. I am not saying no to that. But it's a template film. There is a hero, there is a heroine, there is a villain, there is a lofty cause, someone wanting to do something for the country. All that is a typical, all masala films have similar kind of lines, you know. But the way Aditya treated this in terms of the realism, in terms of the characters looking believable, and in fact, this is the only film I think Ranveer Singh doesn't have a slow motion shot. The hero, everybody else has. From Akshay to everyone else, you know. That's the opposite treatment to the South Indian. All South Indian pan-India biggies, all the time the heroes are walking in slow motion.
Right.
All the other characters are made to look like they're much lesser and they're hero worshipping, including the villains sometimes. Here, in giving equal importance, and no one looks lesser than the other. All in their importance, they become the same, and almost like the hero is disappearing into the story rather than the story is being used to elevate the character. So this kind of a opposite treatment to what big commercial cinema is being treated in the last decade or so, I feel then this film getting these kind of numbers. One is only the numbers. Second is, I know a lot of people who are not from the film industry. They're talking about Dhurandhar's characters as if they know them. Rahman Dakait was living here. I mean, they almost, if you go unexpectedly and you don't know if they're talking about a film, you will think they're talking about real people they know. That is the impact it created, which I don't think any film did in the last 25, 30 years. The old kind of treatment of heroes walking in slow motion and for no reason the background music is thumping, back to back when they're experiencing that, even I am very curious to see how they'll react.
Okay, so last time when we spoke, you said that it's going to impact all the movies that are being made, especially in South, with all the villain just hitting the ground and just pumping up whatsoever.
Correct.
And right after that came Raja Saab.
Yes.
And just flopped miserably whatsoever. Do you think that your point was vindicated in a way? And was Dhurandhar's way was responsible
enough? I don't know is the right example, because one is it is come like a fantasy horror comedy or something. I think
I'm talking about the action.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the film, but I would like to believe. See, if you look at a KGF 2, you look at a Pushpa 2, you look at a Salar. Now these films have similar kind of a template. That is very different from Raja Saab as a genre. You know, so I would like to believe Toxic could be the right comparison, because Toxic still is in the taking forward in the same what is already being accepted for the last 10 years of the superhero and slow motion walking and the like saying dialogue with swag and all that, which is not what Dhurandhar is. So back to back, that becomes a very interesting comparison to watch. Pushpa 2 came 1 week after Dhurandhar. I'm very keen to know what would have happened. You know, see, Pushpa 2 is a big hit. Everybody knows it. Bunny is fantastic, all that. But after seeing the realistic action of Dhurandhar, you know, and I don't think I ever seen action like in Dhurandhar in my career. Now, if you suddenly see a guy almost flying around, biting people and all that, would they be able to enjoy it the same, or will they still like this more than Dhurandhar? That for me is interesting thing, because that is the reason I'm going on saying Dhurandhar is the first film which created a benchmark. See, it's like Hollywood film actually. It is not like I can't remember a single film I saw which will be in the same meter like Dhurandhar.
Right, Dhurandhar 2 or Toxic, which is your bet? What are you betting on? Because Toxic, the teaser has got a great response.
Yeah. What I am interested in seeing, extremely realistic and believable characters and the story being so immersive and the crafting of the director versus like what I explained, like, and slow motion, people were jumping and this and that and nothing looks real, which is a fantasy world. Many of those films work, I'm not saying no to that. But seeing them back to back, I'm really curious to see how the audience will react.
So what is your opinion on Toxic teaser? What is your opinion on Toxic teaser?
See, I am not a fan of that kind of cinema. So I don't want to say specifically about Toxic. I mean, that artificial heroism, which masses like, they always like. They have 300, 400 crore numbers and all that. I am not a fan of that kind of cinema. I don't mean specifically Toxic.
But the sort of scene that is there with that Yash is having with the girl, for example, and the sort of debates that are going on around that. That has definitely created a lot of curiosity around the film.
Yeah, correct.
And it is definitely unusual. It is not. It is a huge risk-taking ability which is there, and the producer is a woman.
See, now, what I'm trying to say, my point, but I want to, on the outset, give a disclaimer. I am not wanting to comment on Toxic. I'm commenting on the unit. There are two units here. One is a guy is having sex with a girl in the car, and then he comes out in slow motion, and then he shoots, and without having any kind of a tension or whatever, because you have to assume that he's a superhero, no bullet will hit him.
Correct.
And is so casual about the whole thing, which makes actually shoe look lesser. So this is what is called a hero worship template. Versus in Durrandar, the tension and the danger what the hero is feeling. And when he lands in Pakistan, he's being beaten up badly, where his teeth are shattered and all that. And all the time he's waiting for his time and laying in the background. Now, that kind of a realism versus this kind of a boosted artificial heroism, they're two different templates, not necessarily only this. If you make a film like that and if you make a film like this, which one will affect is something, both can work. I'm not saying this won't work but the impact which Dhurandhar had, I feel even the film industry is not really realizing. They're looking at the numbers, they're talking about how much it collected and all that. But actual how much it impacted the common man sitting in the theatre, I feel they're not aware of it.
They're still not aware of it.
They're still not aware of it.
I had Danish, the guy who played Uzair Baloch in the morning, and he's a huge fan of yours. And the sort of impact I think almost every character has had in the movie is truly remarkable.
Yeah.
As you yourself said.
For example,
that
Babu Dakait is there maybe for 15-20 minutes.
And you want to meet him?
I just can't forget.
You want to meet the actor?
Huh?
You want to meet that actor?
I talked to him on the phone.
You did?
Yeah.
What did you talk to him about?
I wanted to cast him in something, and when I contacted him, he sent me this smiley emojis. I was shocked. But I was thinking, Babu Dakait sent smiley emojis. What's happening? That was one of my biggest shocks. I know I'm a filmmaker. I know there's an actor, there's a character. In spite of that, because of the impact he created on screen, I felt that.
Now, with Toxic and Dhurandhar 2 coming together, I personally feel that both the films, they are very strong. Do you feel that for an event occasion like this, the country needs more screens? Because there is a market for both the films. But maybe, are there enough screens?
See, I'm really not so much into the trade aspect of it. I don't have the knowledge, neither the interest to understand that. Eventually, it's about the dynamics. I mean, when there is a market, there are enough people. I think this will be best known to the so-called distributors and exhibitors and theatre chains. You know, and if this happens once in a blue moon, big films like Dhurandhar 2 and Toxic coming on the same day, how many times it will happen? And if you're going to amp up the screens for that, what do you do when they're not there?
Yeah, of course.
But I think they will understand those dynamics more. Yeah.
But the fact that both the films coming together, and that too like at a festive occasion, and people keen to watch it, but maybe there are not enough screens. So that is also, and that has happened in the past as well. That is a bit of a downer as well for people who are keen to watch it. Watch both the films.
I mean, those things will happen for everything. You will never know. You can't predict. I think the greatest thing about cinema is that you really can't predict. Like, for example, I remember many years back, there's a columnist called Iqbal Masood, who used to write in Times of India. David Dhawan's 3 films came, like Raja Babu, Aankhein, and something, Shola or Shabnam, I think. They're blockbusters. So he wrote a very interesting piece in the Times of India. He said the families are not coming to the theatres because they're watching in VCR. The video thing at home, and there's no parking space, and quality of life increase. So even the masses they're coming and sitting in the theaters, and they like this kind of comedy, these kind of dances, or whatever. And the proof is there. The column looks fantastic, and that is what the future of cinema, he said. Next week, Hum Aapke Kaun Ke, which is the exact opposite of what of these 3 films, and that went through the roof. So what does it prove? It proves nothing. It just proves that you know nothing. Now, why for Hum Aapke Kaun they returned to the theatre is anybody's guess. Now, the industry guys, when they saw Hum Aapke Kaun, they said, "Ye TV serial hai, Chitra Lahari hai." Chitra. They were talking like that. In fact, I remember Khalid Mohammed or someone said, "This is the longest toothpaste advertisement. Everybody showing their teeth all the time. Because they're all happy people. There is no conflict in the film."
Right.
Yeah.
This is the last conversation that we had on YouTube, and there were so many comments. They were literally flipping over the way you think, the way your intelligence is, the way the sort of analogies that you gave, the Mahabharata analogy, and lots of Zakir Hussain and lots of others. And a lot of people, they feel that it is such a virile mind. When do we see Ramapal Varma of Satya and Rangeela and company? You think so beautifully, brilliantly in terms of from a cinematic point of view, and the way you are able to put it across. And there were a few comments that whatever tweets he writes, he actually writes them himself, because when he's talking, it's the same language.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not ChatGPT or anything.
Yeah.
So yes, so that is a lot of people would want to just see that on cinema from you very soon.
Well, I'm in the process, sir. I'm starting Sarkar 4 very soon.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's and with Mr. Bachchan?
Yeah. Obviously.
Oh, that's amazing.
Okay. Yeah.
That's amazing. And when are you launching it?
Time is not in a few months. Yeah.
In a few months' time. Okay, that's truly. And what are the other star cast that you're having in mind?
Abhishek also will be there.
Abhishek will be there as well.
Yeah. Abhishek's character Shankar dies in Sarkar Raj. That's the second.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, but this is something. I mean, I don't tell the details, but he's not playing the same character.
It's something else.
Yeah.
So that's a very good news to hear that. And Ramu sir, thank you very much for talking to us, and truly a memorable conversation. All the best wishes for Sarkar 4 and all your future ventures. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
So that was one and only one, Mr. Ramgopal Varma, and always wonderful talking to him. And looking forward to everything else in the future as well. Thank you so much.